Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Supatantikam Mandeham Shri Gurum Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parjana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishakham Vidam Sya Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prajarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayade Girim Yatkrupatamaham Mande Sri Gurum Dinadarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyameshwaram Yonda Pravishya Mama Vachamimam Prasuktam Sanjeeva Yadi Akhila Shakti Dharaswanam Nam Anyam Cha Hasta Charana Churanatugadin Pranam Namo Bhagavade Rushaya Tubhyam Tamadi Devam Karunanidhanam Tamala Varnam Suhidavadaram Apara Samsara Samudra Sedum Bhajamahe Bhagavata Surupam Paramananda Pathaya Prayorshi Aksharaya De Sarvada Sarvasevhyaya Sri Krishnaya Namastu. Hare Krishna Hariom Tatsats. Welcome all the devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 18. Tarava kim na jivanti bhashtra kim na swasanti yuta na khadanti na mehanti kim grame pasavo pare. Yes, Paramarada Mataji. You're on mute, Mataji.
Okay. Tarava kim na jivanti bhashtra kim na swasantyat uta na khadanti na mehanti kim grame pashavo pare.
Haribol. Translation, Sujay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation. Do the trees not leave? Do the bellows of the blacksmith not breathe? All around us, do the beast not eat and discharge semen? Correction.
Haribol. Do the trees not live? Do the bellows of the blacksmith not breathe? All around us, do the bees not eat and discharge semen? So, it's mentioned here that the trees lives. We know the bellows of the blacksmith. Maybe some of you have seen, in the workshop of blacksmith. They just press it, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So that's also
Just
as
like
good as, yeah.
In Operation Theatre also, Prabhu, something similar.
Yeah. Even we have, a bus also which has a horn like that, horn. Okay, so all around us, do the beasts not eat and discharge semen? Okay, let's see what is the purport. The materialistic man of the modern age will argue that life, or part of it, is never meant for discussion of theosophical or theological arguments. Life is meant for the maximum duration of existence, for eating, drinking, sexual intercourse, making merry, and enjoying life. The modern man wants to live forever by the advancement of material science, and there are many foolish theories for prolonging life to the maximum duration. But the Srimad Bhagavatam affirms that life is not meant for so-called economic development or advancement of materialistic science, for the hedonistic philosophy of eating, mating, drinking, and merrymaking. Life is only meant for tapasya, for purifying existence, so that one may enter into eternal life just after the end of the human form of life. So it is stated that in the material world, especially those who are gross materialists, they want to enjoy the material life to the maximum possible, forgetting the very fact that the life is meant for, human life is meant for self-realization. So they give least importance or no importance at all for self-realization. So they think that the materialistic way of life, enjoying life, eat, drink, and marry. Okay, so that's all in all and be all. So that is what the materialistic gross materialistic people thinks. But human form of life is meant for tapasya. What is tapasya? Austerity. So austerity is required. So even in the age of Kali, the austerity is given only the minimum possible. It's not like Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, or Dwapara Yuga, where the austerities were much higher. The people of Kali age, the people in the age of Kali, for them it is next to impossible to do the austerities that the people in the age of Satya, Treta, and Dwapara were doing. So it has been simplified. It is simplified version of austerity. Okay, so that also in the age of Kali people are not ready to do. So they are indulging in materialistic enjoyment rather than doing tapasya or taking all. What are the austerities that are basically required in the age of Kali? Chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, following 4 regulatory principles, and a disciplined and regulated life. That's all, very simple. But that also people cannot do. Okay, so what to speak of the tapasya of the Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga, where it was required to do Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, and Ashtanga means 8 limbs of yogic practices, which is next to impossible in the age of Kali. So even the simplest process of austerity, that's tapasya, chanting the holy name of the Lord and following this 4 regulatory principles and regulated life, is not possible by the people in the age of Kali. So it is a must for us to get out of this material existence from the clutches of Maya, which is the life and soul for those who want liberation from this material existence. Okay, without practicing this tapasya, it is not possible for us to get out of the material existence at all. That is the goal of human life. Now, if you want to achieve the goal of human life, we have to practice this sadhana, this devotional service. Otherwise, it's not possible. Without purifying our material existence, we cannot reach our final destination. That is possible only in the human form of life. So Bhagavatam is not recommending dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Okay, it is beyond dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Bhagavatam is propounding the Panchama Purushartha. What is Panchama Purushartha? These are the 4 Purusharthas: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So what is Panchama Purushartha? What is Panchama Purushartha? No one knows. What is beyond moksha? What we are all aspiring? Prema.
Krishna Prema.
Krishna Prema. That is the Panchama Purushartha. Because all other literatures, Vedic literatures, emphasizes on this Purushartha. Okay. What is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. But Srimad Bhagavatam emphasizes on prema, love of Krishna, love of Godhead. Yes, Mataji, you were telling something?
Yes, Guruji. Panchama Purushottama means what, Prabhuji? 5
The
types
fifth,
of...
the fifth one. Purushartha is 4. Okay. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That is 4. So, which is the fifth one. But Bhagavatam discusses and emphasizes on the fifth Purushartha. That means the principles that we are supposed to follow in the human form of life. These are the principles, 5 religious principles. Okay. So, basically, Dharma, we are all following Dharma. But why we are following Dharma? Artha. What is Artha means? We want money. Okay, we want wealth, economic development. That's the motive behind following Artha, generally speaking. Okay, when we get Artha or money or wealth or economic development, what do? Kama, desires, material desires, to fulfill the material desires. Then, after that, when we get fed up, because by fulfilling the material desires, we are not satisfied at all. To satisfy the senses is not easy. The more we try to satisfy the senses, the more desires come. Okay, it is just like pouring ghee on fire. By pouring ghee on fire, what will happen? The fire will ablaze more and more. It is not going to set off. Similarly, when we want to enjoy more and more sense gratification, the more desire develop. We are never satisfied. So it's very difficult for us to get out of the sense gratification and go to mukti. We get stuck there. Okay, in the third stage, dharma, artha, kama. Because suppose we have 1,000. Just take the wealth. Suppose I have 1,000 rupees. I am deciding for 10,000. When I get 10,000, I want 1 lakh. When I get 1 lakh, I want 1 crore. Like that, the desire keeps going. Even among the wealthy people, there is competition, isn't it? There is competition. The greed, because I want to become first. Because of the present situation, the share market fluctuation. Maybe today I'm number 1 in wealth. Tomorrow my name will go from that list because somebody else will occupy that. So I'm very unhappy because I've lost the first chance. The first, just like there is unhealthy competition between children in the school when they score marks in the 12th standard or college or whatever it is. 98%, the child has got 98%, but his friend has got 98.5. He's unhappy. Why? Because his friend has got half mark more than him. So this is unhealthy competition. So never satisfied. Okay. So we have to compete with ourselves. What I was 5 years back, how I was behaving, what was my character, how I was living totally gross materialistic life. Now, how much I have changed. So compare ourselves, not with others, because everyone is unique. We cannot compare with others at all. So what I was 10 years back, when I was not involved in Krishna consciousness, how I was living a life of totally gross materialistic life, indulging in all sense gratification, how much change I have, how much change I should do in another 1 year or 2 year, 5 year. We should think of that, isn't it? That is actually healthy competition. How can I improve in another 1 year or 2 year, or so that in this life itself I can be a good devotee. So that is what. So the third stage, kama, we are all getting stuck there because nobody. There's a saying that there is everything in abundance for our need. Okay, but there is nothing is available even for one's greed. One person's greed. The whole earth, along with its opulences, along with its all ingredients, if it is given to one person, still he wants more. So it is not enough for one person's greed. In fact, it is enough, adequate, in abundance for everybody's need, but not for one's greed. That's what. So here on the third stage, that is kama, desires, we get stuck. So very less people will go to the mukti. Okay, so all literatures except Srimad Bhagavatam give more emphasis for this Purushartha, which are four religious principles: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. When we are totally fed up, there is no other way, because we are not at all happy. Maya is kicking us left, right, and center. Then we'll, oh, enough is enough. So somehow I want to get rid of this material existence. So such people will try for liberation, moksha. But devotees, they want beyond that, not just moksha, but they want prema. So this is Panchama Purushartha. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So the materialists want to prolong life as much as possible because they have no information of the next life. So in this life itself, they want to enjoy maximum possible. So they will do all that possible to extend their life. Okay, so that's why in the present day, the scientists, they're trying to prolong the duration of life so that they can enjoy more and more. But they forget the very fact that after this life, there is another life. So they want to get the maximum comforts in this present life because they think conclusively that there is no life after death. They don't believe in that reincarnation. This ignorance about the eternity of the living being and the change of the covering in the material world has played havoc in the structure of the modern human society. Consequently, there are many problems multiplied by various plans of modernized man. Not only that they want to enjoy on this earthly planet, they want to explore life in the other planets also. They want to make a colony there in Mars and Moon and other planets. Okay, they want to enjoy there also. It's not enough, they have exploited the nature on this earthly planet. That's not enough. They want to exploit there also. So this is the modern people's mentality, the scientist, so-called scientist mentality. Okay, they are not understanding that after this life, there is another life. And we cannot extend our life duration, whatever we may do. People, they defrost the person, and after 10 years they will take, and so they think that that person will be, suppose a person is kept in defrost condition at the age of 40. After 10 years, what will be his age? 50. But they think that he will remain 40 only, even after 10 years, because of some gimmick they are doing in the medical science and all. So they are trying to manipulate the material nature, and they are trying their level best so that they can bring more comfort and more enjoyment in the material life. That's what the modernized man is trying to do. So the plans for solving the problems of society have only aggravated the troubles. Okay, instead of trying to solve the problems of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, they are trying to find out ways and means to enjoy more and more in this present body. Today or tomorrow, this body will perish. No way that we can preserve this body for permanently. It is not possible. It has to perish. Anything that has beginning, it has an end also. So the body has a beginning. Birth is the beginning and death is the end. So we cannot prolong it. Whatever is there in the destiny will happen. So that's already destined that we are all going to live in this body for maximum 100 years, not more than that. So even if it is possible to prolong life more than 100 years, advancement of human civilization does not necessarily follow. The Bhagavatam says that certain trees live for hundreds and thousands of years. At Vrindavana, there is a tamarind tree. The place is known as Imlitala, which is said to have existed since the time of Krishna. In the Calcutta Botanical Garden, there's a banyan tree said to be older than 500 years. And there are many such trees all over the world. Swami Shankaracharya lived only 32 years and Lord Chaitanya lived 48 years. Does it mean that the prolonged lives of the above mentioned trees are more important than Shankara or Chaitanya? So life, the duration of life is not that important. That's what Prabhupada wants to mention here. The trees, that are existing for the last 500 or 5,000 years, that is not important. It is living. What's the point? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived 48 years and Adi Shankaracharya, lived only 32 years. So and the tree lived 500 years. So which is more important? The trees 500 years or the 32 years of Shankaracharya or 48 years of, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So does it mean that the prolonged lives of the above-mentioned trees are more important than Shankara or Chaitanya? Prolonged life without spiritual value is not very important. So even if we are living for 20 years, 30 years, if we are living a disciplined devotional life, that is much more important than living like an animal for hundreds of years. So that's what it is meant. That's what it is mentioned here. So the example is given here. The Bhagavatam says that the bellows of the blacksmith beats very soundly, but that does not mean that the bellows has life. The materialist will argue that life in the tree and life in the man cannot be compared because the tree cannot enjoy life by eating palatable dishes or by enjoying sexual intercourse. In reply to this, Bhagavatam asks whether other animals like the dogs and hogs living in the same village with human beings do not eat and enjoy sexual life. Even in animal life, they are enjoying all these things. Ahara nidra bhayamaitunam cha. They're all enjoying. But what is the purpose? It is of no use. The life without devotional activity, devotional service is of no use because the purpose of human life is lost there. The purpose of human life is for self-realization, not sense gratification. Because we were cats and dogs, we were animals, we were trees, aquatics, birds, reptiles, worms, everything. So we have had enough sense gratification, all these different forms of life, millions of times. So what's the big deal? So if we are going to again enjoy the senses in this human form of life, we are, not solving the purpose of human life. So that is what, it is emphasized here. Even the bellows is breathing, but does it have life? Is it enjoying? No. So the specific utterance of Srimad Bhagavatam in regard to other animals means that persons who are simply engaged in planning a better type of animal life consisting of eating, breathing, and mating are also animals in the shape of human being. So they are called two-legged animals, Dvipada Pashu. A society of such polished animals cannot benefit suffering humanity, for an animal can easily harm another animal but rarely do good. So although we are in the form of humans, we are polished cats and dogs. In what way we are different from them? They are also doing ahara nidra bhayamaitunam. We are also doing the same thing. Eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. There is no other difference. So unless and until we follow the devotional service, unless and until we follow religiosity, there is no difference between us and the animals. So that's what it is emphasized here, stressed here by Srila Prabhupada. So if we really want to take benefit of this human life, then we have to live like human, not like animals. Animals, they fight each other. They are not doing anything good, isn't it? Are they? One animal is sitting, oh, let me assess that other animal is in problem. Can the animal think that way? No. They will fight, they will attack, they will eat, they will kill, they will do all sorts of things. But human being, we are polished animals. At least we should know what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. Then we should live all this enjoying spirit and try to do devotional service, try to think, what is best for us so that we can get out of the clutches of Maya and go back home, back to Godhead. This is what the human society should try or strive for. And the leaders of the society also should help the ordinary citizens in that direction, rather than indulging them, making them indulge in all the material comforts and material sense gratification. This is what is doing. The society is also after sense enjoyment, and they are also encouraging the citizens. The leaders are also encouraging the citizens to indulge more and more in sense gratification, rather than helping them to achieve the goal of life, goal of human life, that is self-realization. So any questions or any comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Little related to that last you told Prabhuji, leaders are diverting the people like that.
Yeah.
Just I want to share Prabhuji. I want to get on clear idea. Recently, one movie, Ponniyin Selvan, one movie Prabhuji, Tamil movie. That one very historical movie about the Chola dynasty. That time how they ruled, that king, what are the things he did, like that Chola dynasty related Prabhuji, not like a normal ordinary movie. Some people, when they shared with me, I also shared with them, and this is very nice historical thing. You should know that background also like that. I told Prabhuji, but whatever is not related to Krishna consciousness, we should not encourage them when they are checking with us. We should not encourage them. Just we have to ignore, or we have to tell, no, this is the good one, like that. We have to tell Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes, Mataji. So what's the point?
As a practicing devotee, I should ignore when they are talking about like this historical monument things. When they are talking, I should ignore, or I should gather some points from them.
See, especially movies. These are all commercial movies. So what is the agenda behind, making such movies? Just to make money, commercial. So that the historical facts, they will manipulate, they will twist the facts. So we don't know how much facts there are. Just for the sake of understanding our history, if it is historical movie, you can, okay, there's no. But most of the movies, especially all commercially oriented, they will twist the real fact and figures. So we don't know how far it is true. So we should be careful. And our purpose is not that. Okay, those who are interested in some historical events, they want to learn that, they can definitely see that. But more than seeing that, more than understanding the history behind that, we want to enjoy the vision, our pleasure for the eyes. That's why we are all going, for a movie. Some dialogue, some scenes, and some songs, this and that. So this is the basic idea of seeing movie, just for manoranjan, for entertainment only. So that is not giving us any, inclination or inspiration for devotional service. If it is helping us to advance spiritually, definitely we can see. So most of the movies are commercially oriented. They will add masala, and they will add so much of vulgarity also in that. So we should be very selective in that also. And of course, we cannot tell others, those who are not devotionally inclined, not to see in God. We cannot see, we cannot say that, because they are not in this. When they come to devotional service, when they know the value of the devotional service, and all other things are actually is not useful for our devotional progress, then slowly and gradually we can tell them. At this point of time, you cannot instruct them, don't see, it is not good, then, because they are not at all devotionally inclined. So whom you are speaking to, that we have to see. If they are devotee, then slowly and gradually we can make them understand. If they are totally gross materialistic people, then there's no point or instructing them or advising them. Better keep away. We should keep away from such people. As far as possible, we should try to give association not take their association. We should take association of devotees, and we should give association to non-devotees, not take their association. So this is what we should do.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So any other points?
Hari Bol Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So let's continue text 19. So vidvara hostra kare samstuta purusha pashu nayat karna patho peto jatu nama gadagraja. Okay, Rajeshwara Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
स्वाविद्वारहोष्टकरै संसुत्ता पुरुषं पशुं नायत्कर्णा पथोपेतो जातु नामागधग्रजः.
Very bold. Translation, Satkirti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils.
Very good. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Okay. We had mentioned about these 4 animals last class, I think, right? Dogs, hogs, camels, and asses.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is what in the Bhagavatam also. Why these 4 animals? We know their mentality. But like that, people are also like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. We have that mentality of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Okay, because just like I told you, the donkey is praising the camel, aho rupam, and the camel in turn is praising the donkey, aho dhvani. So this is what is happening. Okay, like that, men also becomes like these animals, and they don't know the value of human life. Okay, as I told you, the human life is very, very rarely achieved. Labdhva sudarlabham idam bahu sambhavante. After transmigrating through millions and millions of times in 8.4 million species of lives, we have at last achieved this human form of life. We should not waste this golden opportunity where we can attain self-realization. Going back home, back to God, it is possible only in this human form of life. So we should never be, polished dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Okay. Why polished? Why? Because we have got the human form of life. So that is just like a polish, just like we are in the human form of life, but internally we are dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Externally we are human, but our mentality is like that of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. So we should not do that. That's what even Bhagavatam says. So the general mass of people, unless they are trained systematically for a higher standard of life in spiritual values, are no better than animals. And in this verse, they have particularly been put on the level of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Modern university education practically prepares one to acquire the doggish mentality with which to accept the service of a greater master. Okay, so this is modern civilization. The education that is available now is only for enjoying more and more senses. That's all. It is directed towards that, for more and more sense gratification. In which school or college, the teacher okay. Now next period is, how to control our senses or how to control our anger. Okay, or what is soul, how the transmigration takes place. Okay, why we are in different statuses of life. Is there any subject matter in the school or colleges? No. Only just to compete among other students and others, just who can enjoy more and more senses, who can make more and more money so that they can enjoy more and more. So this is what is happening. So the modern education system is also making us, number one dog, number one ass, number one, hog and camel. First place. So this is what is happening. So after finishing a so-called education, the so-called educated persons move like dogs from door to door with applications for some service, and mostly they are driven away informed of no vacancy. So the present, this is what is happening. When we are jobless, we take our CV and go to door, different companies. Do you have vacancy? Do you have vacancy? Can you please absorb me? Can you please give me a job? And most of the places we are turned down, isn't it? So as dogs are negligible animals and serve the master faithfully for bits of bread, a man serves a master faithfully without sufficient rewards. We are made to work 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, and for meager salary. And who takes the major part of it? The person who employs. So person who have no discrimination in the matter of foodstuff and who eat all sorts of rubbish are compared to dogs. Okay. So, compared to hogs. Hogs are very much attached to eating stools. So stool is a kind of foodstuff for a particular type of animal. And even stones are eatable for a particular type of animal or bird. Stones are eatable for a particular type of animal or bird. But the human being is not meant for eating everything and anything. He is meant to eat grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, sugar, etc. Animal food is not meant for the human being. For chewing solid food, the human being has a particular type of teeth meant for cutting fruits and vegetables. The human being is endowed with 2 canine teeth as a concession for persons who will eat animal food at any cost. So that is a concession given to the human being, 2 canine teeth, because the Lord knows these people are not going to sudrify it. They will never improve. So, so Lord has given us 2 canine teeth so that in case they want to eat meat, yes, they can do that also. It is not to everyone that one's man's food is another man's poison. Okay. Human beings are expected to accept the remnants of food offered to Lord Sri Krishna, and the Lord accepts foodstuff from the categories of leaves, flowers, roots, and etc. BG 9.26, which is that verse. (926).
Patram pushpam phalam toyam.
Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktya upaharadam yasnami prayatatmana. As described by Vedic scriptures, no animal food is offered to the Lord. Therefore, a human being is meant to eat a particular type of food. He should not imitate the animals to derive so-called vitamin values. Therefore, a person who has no discrimination in regard to eating is compared to a hog. So, if we eat anything and everything, we'll be no better than a hog, because the hog is eating such things. So we'll be, as good as hog only, although in the human form of life. And what is meant for humans? Prasadam. After offering to Lord Sri Krishna, when it is purified, then it becomes prasadam for us. So the camel is a kind of animal that takes pleasure in eating thorns. A person who wants to enjoy family life or the worldly life of so-called enjoyment is compared to the camel. So even at the cost of putting us a lot of inconvenience, we want to enjoy that. So that is why it is compared to the camel, because camel is cutting its own tongue and the blood is coming and he is enjoying its own blood. So that's why it is compared to the camel. Materialistic life is full of thorns, and so one should live only by the prescribed method of Vedic regulations, just to make the best use of the bad bargain. So we have to make the best use of the bad bargain. The bad bargain is that we have got a body. Okay, that is a bad bargain. We have got a material body. Actually, we have spiritual body. We have relinquished that, and instead of that, we have got material body. So it's a bad bargain. Now that we have got this, no problem. But at least make the best use of this bad bargain by utilizing this body and senses in the devotional service and get our status quo. That is the Satchidananda Swarupa. Yeah. Life in the material world is maintained by sucking one's own blood. The central point of attraction for material enjoyment is sex life. To enjoy sex life is to suck one's own blood, and there is not much more to be explained in this connection. The camel also sucks its own blood while chewing thorny twigs. The thorns the camel eats cut the tongue of the camel, and so blood begins to flow within the camel's mouth. The thorns mixed with fresh blood create a taste for the foolish camel, and so he enjoys the thorn eating business with false pleasure. So it's a false pleasure. Actually, it is getting a lot of pain, but still in that pain also, it's finding pleasure. Similarly, the great business magnates, industrialists who work very hard to earn money by different ways and questionable means eat the thorny results of their actions mixed with their own blood. Therefore, the Bhagavatam has situated these deceased fellows along with the camels. Okay, so all the industrialists, the business magnates are also on the same level of hogs, because they are day and night without any proper taking care of proper health. They are wasting their energy, health, and everything just for the name and fame and some so-called reputation in their business magnates community, at the cost of their own health and nice devotional life. They can enjoy the nice devotional life in this human form of life, but they forget that the prime duty of the human life, they forget, and they try to enjoy the senses by acquiring more and more wealth, and thereby name, fame, and other such things. Therefore, the Bhagavatam has situated these deceased fellows along with the camels. So that's why they are all compared to camels. The ass is an animal who is celebrated as the greatest fool, even amongst the animals. So he has got a special title. What is that? Greatest fool amongst the animals. The ass works very hard and carries burdens of the maximum weight without making profit for itself. So from morning till evening, it's carrying a lot of burden as weight, for his master, just for a bunch of grass. Whereas the grass is available everywhere, isn't it? But still it is carrying this burden from morning till evening for his master. The ass is generally engaged by the washerman, whose social position is not very respectable. And the special qualification of the ass is that it is very much accustomed to being kicked by the opposite sex. When the ass begs for sexual intercourse, it is kicked by the fair sex, yet he still follows the female for such sexual pleasure. An henpecked man is compared, therefore, to the ass. The general mass of people work very hard, especially in the age of Kali. In this age, the human being is actually engaged in the work of an ass, carrying heavy burdens and driving thela and rickshaws. The so-called advancement of human civilization has engaged a human being in the work of an ass. The laborers in great factories and workshops are also engaged in such burdensome work. And after working hard during the day, the poor laborer has to be again kicked by the fair sex, not only for sex enjoyment, but also for so many household affairs. So we are also compared, such gross materialistic sense gratifying people are also compared to the donkeys or asses. Okay. So this is another example given in the Bhagavatam itself. People, those who are not inclined toward devotional service, those who does not know the purpose of human life, they live like dogs, donkeys, hogs, and camels. So we should be very careful how we live our life, how we should regulate and discipline our life so that we don't waste this human form of life. Do you know the story of the blue jackal? Sujay Prabhu,
No.
you know? Okay.
No, Prabhu.
You know jackal.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Fox. Another name is fox also, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
One day, this jackal was passing by a washerman. The washerman uses the blue, this thing, neelam, the blue powder for what is that called?
Sayam.
Chayam. Okay, so
No.
this jackal fell in this water, that blue color water. So the color got changed. So then, after that, it was going to the forest and he went to the forest. So all the animals saw this is a new, species. So maybe this is our master. We have never seen. So maybe, this is our master. Let us make him the king of us. And he was given a big throne, and all the facilities, all the comfort, thinking that he is the master because they have never seen such a animal at all. So he was given all the respect and everything, reverence and everything, and few days, and in the same day evening. So he was also enjoying this new position as general manager of the jungle. So when the evening came, the other jackals started, crying, howling. So hearing that, this jackal also started howling. Then these other animals came. No, he is the ordinary jackal only. They started beating him left, right, and center, and driven him off from that place. Like that, like that, we're all given, false position in this material world. Okay, Asliyat. Externally, we'll be putting coat, suit, this and that. But what is internal, that only we know and the Supreme Lord knows. No one knows. So just like we're all acting as the blue jackal in this material world. But in fact, we are spirit soul. We are Satchidananda. We forget that. And we take the outer body as ourselves, as the self. So this is the story of the blue jackal. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam's categorization of the common man without any spiritual enlightenment into the society of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses is not at all an exaggeration. It's not exaggeration. We are these animals if we don't live a regulated and disciplined life. We are these animals. Only thing is that we have a different body, not that of animals, and we have 2 legs instead of 4 legs. But the activity remains same. That's why we are called polished dogs and cats. The leaders of such ignorant masses of people may feel very proud of being adored by such a number of dogs and hogs. But that is not very flattering. The Bhagavatam openly declares that although a person may be a great leader of such dogs and hogs disguised as man, if he has no taste for being enlightened in the science of Krishna, such a leader is also an animal and nothing more. He may be designated as a powerful, strong animal or a big animal, but in the estimation of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is never given a place in the category of man. Although we are having the body of human being, but we cannot be considered as a human being unless and until we practice devotional service. If you are doing the same activity, of that, animals like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. So what way we are different from them? That's why we said Prabhupada is telling here in the purport. He may be designated as a powerful, strong animal or a big animal, but in the estimation of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is never given a place in the category of man. We can never be called a man on account of his atheistic temperament. Or in other words, such godless leaders of dogs and hog-like men are bigger animals with the qualities of animals in greater proportion. So we are called bigger animals because we have that tendency in greater proportion. So those who are born in the Western world, and America and other countries, those who are connected to this Sanatana Dharma by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, they are much, much better than those who are born in Bharatavarsha. Okay. Although we claim that we are, from India, from Bharat, and we have that little pride, okay, we are following Sanatana Dharma, but actually we, just for the namesake only we are following. But actual dedication we'll find in the Western people, especially the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, their dedication, their determination to follow exactly as per the instruction of Prabhupada, you will not find in the people of India, isn't it? Because we take that very lightly. In Vrindavan, some of the people in Vrindavan told Prabhupada, Swamiji, your people's pronunciation of Sanskrit verses are not correct. They criticized Prabhupada. Their pronunciation is not correct. Yes, I know their pronunciation is not correct because they are not born in India. They are from other countries, foreign countries, Western countries. So they are trying their level best, to study that, and they are following all the regulative principles very nicely. They are doing devotional activities. Although their pronunciation is not correct, their renunciation is the best. Even Indians cannot match that. Prabhupada said that their pronunciation is not correct, but the renunciation is best. That is that's what Prabhupada, replied to those people who complained about. So we are trying to, do this dosh darshan, finding fault in others. Instead of taking something best from them, we are trying to find out, what faults is there. So this is our tendency. At least we have to appreciate it. They didn't have any background. What background they had? At least we have some background of Vedic life. They didn't know anything. They have never heard Krishna before Prabhupada went to America, isn't it? So they left all the bad habits and they started following Prabhupada because they trusted Prabhupada. They knew that Prabhupada will not cheat them. So their policy was they will not trust anybody more than of their age, maximum 30. But Prabhupada was not only double, more than that, 70 plus at that time when they all met. And he just blindly followed because they had firm faith in Prabhupada's instructions and education and everything. So like that. So whatever Prabhupada told them, they accepted. So that is, that is the the faith in the words of Guru. He is not an ordinary Guru who went there for name and fame. Guru means one who can dissipate darkness. Okay, those who are ignorant, and those who are in darkness, dissipate that darkness. That is Guru. And what is the other meaning for Guru? What's the other meaning for Guru? I have told many times.
Heavy, like
Yeah,
that's meaning.
heavy. So the Guru is very heavy on the disciples. Okay, why heavy? Because only when he becomes heavy on the disciples, they will improve. They will not improve otherwise. You cannot be lenient towards the disciples. So Guru means heavy also. So Prabhupada was very heavy, but at the same time, very loving and caring also. So everybody, like a father, they all treated Prabhupada. And whatever Prabhupada wanted, they all agreed. And they are ready to, risk their life. Once Prabhupada was traveling from, I think from Amritsar to Delhi or Delhi to Amritsar. Along with him, our Yamuna Mataji was there. And other disciples were also there. So Prabhupada asked Yamuna Mataji, I want some hot rice. Can you please arrange it? So they didn't have any provision to make hot rice. And Prabhupada is asking, hot rice. So this is a request of their spiritual master. So what she will do? Immediately she went to the train pantry. The train pantry, it was totally mess. So many things were being cooked there. What to do? How she can give that rice to Prabhupada? They are cooking non-vegetarian and they are doing all dirty. So she wanted to cook for Prabhupada. She requested the pantry people, the supervisors, please give me some rice in a new pot so that I'll make rice for my spiritual master. He's asking for hot rice. Then the pantry people said, next to impossible. We all got big pots and we are cooking. We cannot allow outsiders to cook in our pantry. Next to impossible. She pleaded, she requested, please. No, this is I want to please my spiritual master. He just requested, he wanted hot rice. They said, no, next to impossible, go, get lost. Then she told that person, if you do not allow me to cook, I will jump from this train and commit suicide. And she rushed to the, doorway. She was going to do that, literally. Immediately they all caught her. No, please don't do that. I will allow you make whatever you want. She made the rice by herself and gave it to Prabhupada. See this Guru Nishtha. See this love towards Guru. And Prabhupada, what he did? Prabhupada was very, very happy when she got this hot rice. So that's why when interviewers ask, reporters ask, my disciples are ready to, live their life. If I say, for me, they are ready to sacrifice their lives. Similarly, if they tell me, take my life, I will take my life also. So that's the relation Prabhupada had with his disciples. So this is the Guru Nishtha. So this is really happened, Yamuna Mataji did that. I remembered that. Okay, so Guru is the one. Without Guru, we cannot get Krishna. Brahmanda Brahmide, Kona Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade, Paya Bhakti Lada Beach. Guru Krishna. First comes Guru, then Krishna. Isn't it? So without the mercy of Guru, we will not get Krishna. Without the mercy of Krishna, we will not get Guru also. It's like that. So Guru directs us to Krishna. Like that. Yeah. So any questions or any comments?
Oh, Krishna Prabhuji. That example of Yamuna Mataji, Prabhuji, it's unbelievable, Prabhu. Haribol.
All these disciples are gems. All these disciples are gems, We are really fortunate to, associate with Prabhupada and his such disciples. Once, in the class in New York, Prabhupada was giving a Bhagavatam class. Okay. And in that class, Giriraj Swami, that time his name was not Giriraj Swami, in the 1970s, 68 or something, I think. So one person totally boost with LSD, yeah, totally in high intoxicant LSD. He was not in his consciousness at all. He came to that hall where the Bhagavatam class was going on. There were only few devotees, and he was. They say that he had not taken bath for months together, stinking like anything. Nobody wanted to make him sit near them. Okay, so Giriraj Swami was trying to avoid him and put him out of the class. He tried his level best, but he is adamant he is not going out. And no devotee wants to, sit near him because so much stinking he was, and he was making havoc there. He tried his level best to, throw him out of the room, but he was in vain. This was not possible. So seeing all this drama, Prabhupada, although he was taking class, he signed to signal to Giriraj Swami, let him be there, let him sit there, just leave him alone, let him be there. So he sat there, he sat through the class. Okay. After that, he liked the preaching of Prabhupada. Then slowly he started coming to the class, every Sunday class. Then, he became a good devotee. Okay. And he became such a good devotee. He came to India, he learned Bengali, he learned Sanskrit, and he started translating all these, Gaudiya literatures, Garga Samhita and all other such literatures into, from Bengali and Sanskrit to English. And he was there in Vrindavan. For so many years, he never left Vrindavan after coming to this thing. His name is Kusha Tushta Prabhu, I think. Yes, translated many, this thing, Bengali and Sanskrit books into English for the benefit of all of us. So if Prabhupada had not allowed him to stay in that class, we would have lost a gem. A person was totally drunk and intoxicated, and in that position, Prabhupada accepted, and he gave his glance, so that he becomes a pure devotee. So he asked once Prabhupada, how is that, that you allowed me, and I got this fortune to become your disciple. Then Prabhupada said, when you came on that day, I just prayed to Krishna that you should become a pure devotee. That devotee himself is narrating this story.
Hari, Hari, Hari.
And another person, such drug addict, he was thinking that there's nothing in this world more precious than LSD to take you high, to keep you high. So he was planning to write a book about LSD's influence so that he can always stay high. So he was planning to write a book on LSD. That is very good. Everybody should use it. He was a good, writer, also educated person. So he came to know that there is a Swami in the town who is preaching against LSD. So he wanted to attend his class. Okay, he came, and he also came with the intention of asking some questions and refuting Prabhupada's this philosophy. So he came there, he sat in the audience, and after the class, he wanted to ask some questions, refuting Prabhupada's, this preaching of against LSD and all these things. So after hearing Prabhupada, lecture, he totally changed. He couldn't ask any questions. Then he told Prabhupada the purpose of his coming. This was the purpose of coming. And after listening to, and it so happened, it's like that. So Prabhupada, immediately stared at him and asked, before he's asking, it is very unfortunate that nowadays people, very materially educated people are taking to LSD, which is spoiling their health and life. They don't know what they're doing. So such statement, something he said, immediately, looking at the eyes of this person. So he was totally wonderstruck how this person knows about that what I have in my mind. I am such a person. He was totally surprised to, hear this statement of Prabhupada. Then later after the class, he went and asked for forgiveness. He said, "This is the purpose of my coming. Now I want to follow you." Then he was, allowed to stay in the temple. Then he became a book distributor. All other book distributors found it very difficult to distribute the books, but within 1 hour he'll distribute all the books and come. Then the devotees asked, how it is possible that within 1 hour you are distributing all the books, but the whole day we are trying, we cannot distribute the books. Then he said, Prabhupada saved me. He said only one sentence, Prabhupada saved me. So he became a good distributor. So from where to where the transformation took place. So these are all the merciful glance of a compassionate Vaishnava. It is possible. That's why when we get a chance to have the audience of such Vaishnavas, we should never miss it. We are thinking that, oh, I have seen him, I have listened to his lecture in YouTube. But if we ever get a chance to see him physically, just one glance is enough. Their mercy is enough for our purification. Okay. So just I heard this from some classes, so I thought I will share this, although it is not related to this.
Very useful, very nice.
Unbelievable stories, Prabhu. I mean, true stories. Krishna.
Okay, so another story I heard of Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj was in Spain. Okay, so he was giving classes. So there it was drought in that country, Spain. They had no rain for the last 1.5 or 2 years, without rain at all. So they were all praying that rain should come. Then, in the class, Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj told, if you do Nama Sankirtana, definitely rain will come. Okay. Devotees from there, they didn't have so much faith. But then after the class, Maharaj started Nama Sankirtana and the devotees followed. So there was Nama Sankirtana for 1 hour or so. And immediately after the Nama Sankirtana, the thundering and lightning started coming. And the devotee from there, the local devotee said, this has happened so many times. Thunder and lightning comes, but never rain. This has been the usual case, but never rain comes. But after some that, the real heavy downpour came and devotees were so much happy. Immediately after Nama Sankirtana, the rain came. So all the people started pouring in to see and take blessings of Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. So then Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj, I just want to leave this place immediately. I don't want any such praise. I cannot accept this. This is just, I'm just doing what I have done is just following the instructions of my spiritual master. I am not here to take the praise of these devotees. Let me leave from here and please arrange the needful. Within 1 hour, he left the place. He was supposed to leave, some other day, but he didn't want to take the credit of this for himself. So this is greatness of such, saintly personalities. They will not take the credit at all.
Really, Prabhu, really.
So do you remember anything similar from the Shastras? Such incident?
Prabhuji, a similar happening was there in Fiji by Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj.
That is that. And in Hyderabad also. Prabhupada went and did it in Fiji and Hyderabad. No.
Hyderabad.
He didn't want any praise and he wanted to leave immediately. Any such instances in our parampara? You remember anything? Madhavendra Puri, Kirchor Gopinath. You remember the story? When the priest called Madhavendra Puri, Lord Gopinath has stolen kheer for you. And he was given that kheer. And this went wildfire. And people started, pouring to see who is that fortunate devotee, for whom Lord Gopinath has stolen kheer, and the people started coming, pouring in to see his darshan. Immediately he left. He didn't want any praise. Immediately, that night itself, and that day itself, he left the place. He didn't want any praise, glorification for himself. Madhavendra Puri immediately left for Orissa, Jagannath Puri, because he was on a mission of collecting sandalwood for Gopal. You remember that? You don't remember?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Yes.
Now making sense, Prabhu.
Yeah. Recently you had been to Orissa, no? So you went and had the darshan of Kheer Chor Gopinath also, right? So that time you must have heard the story.
Krishna.
So these are all, our acharyas, saintly personalities. So many lessons we have to learn from these saintly personalities, and we have to follow in their footsteps, not imitating them, but following their footsteps means, and what is that? Their instructions we should take in our heart. The instruction,
Hari.
not imitate them. Okay, so next 20, we will take it next week. Okay, so please make a note of that. So we have finished 18 and 19. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.